Hello, Jewelry Divas. So we finally made it to our next video, which is um they circled around her earrings. Okay. And honestly, what I don't even remember why I why I really named it that. Maybe it's because we're using a lot of loops and creating circles. I'll go with that. Just touch and agree, people. So, as usual, I've already made a sample, so I'm gonna go through my second earring, your first, with you. And today I'm using this time I'm using a pale pink leather. And I know you're thinking, well, I don't know because I can't assume, but you're probably wondering, Angela, where are you getting all these funky colors of leather? Because yeah, so what happened was I have an addiction. So those bags of leather that I showed you prior, um if I see one color that's funky, I'll buy the whole bag. So just know that I've bought at least a minimum of 15 to 20 bags of leather just to get all these funky colors. Um, so yeah. So this is the piece that I got it from. This is the scrap, if you will, the remnant that I got this little piece from. And all I did was I used the scissors to cut it. Okay, so actually, like when you're using these remnants of leather and you're creating and you're playing around with new ideas, nothing goes to waste. So if you see me cut off a little piece of something, just know that it will gain a new life in another project. Okay, so let's get started. What you need is, and remember, always double what I point to, okay? You're going to need 2 pieces of leather, and of course you've measured them the same size for the earrings. You're going to need 4 large jump rings. How large you want to go is up to you, and how wide and long that you want to cut your leather is up to you. Today I'm just about teaching you technique, and I want you to explore on your own. Um, you know, yeah, that's the thing. So I'm using today, and you're probably used to me saying that I use 20 gauge wire all the time. But what I found is that oh, and this is 22 gauge wire. Remember, the higher the number, the thinner the wire. So for this project, I found that 22 gauge is more manageable for what we are going to do. Okay, so you will also need 2 ear wires, and of course we have our squad here. You also need well, I'm using 2 beads per earring, but you can add as many as you want. I just wanted 2. Now I have made some with up to 4. So it's up to you depending on how you're feeling. If you're feeling funky that day, go with it, girl or guy, whoever's watching this video, because I have to stop eliminating the fellas because I did have a guy in one of my jewelry classes when I was doing them live. So that was exciting. Hey, Phil, if you're ever going to watch. Um, so let's get started with this. And this is a project that you can do, I would say, in 15 minutes or less. You know, I like to give people a time so they're like, oh, before I commit to this, what are we actually doing? So this is, yeah, it's a thing. So let's start with, nope, let's make our charms first. So usually we wire wrap the charms. I'm not doing that today. Now, if you want to do that, that's fine because, you know, wire wrapping gives it more attitude, you know, but I actually don't want the wraps to be my focal point today. Have I done it in the past? Oh, yeah. Oh, I do a lot of stuff. So let's make our simple loop, grabbing the end of the wire and using our wrist. Don't forget to break the neck because, you know, we need to. So now we have our eye pin, okay? Why did I unquote that? Because that really is what it is. So slide your bead on. Okay. Now I'm going to hold this and I'm going to push this wire away. Just like that. Okay. That's what I did. I'm going to cut enough and leave, well, I'm going to cut and leave enough so that I can create a loop here. Okay. So for me to create a loop, this is how I do it. Everything is upside down. And when I taught children, they were like, what? I said, but you know what? In order to have great achievement, because, you know, there's a lesson in everything I do. In order to have great achievement, you have to get uncomfortable. You have to get out of your comfort zone. Because if you stay in your comfort zone, then there's no growth. Okay, so get out of your comfort zone and try something different. So that's what we're going to do today. I sound like my grandfather. You guys, if you knew him, if you ever had a chance to meet him, you'd be like, yep, Angela gets the storytelling from her grandfather and my dad too. Okay, so don't get us in the room together. So we're going to start here, and I'm placing the wire where I want my loop to be. And I'm just going to roll over, roll over. And they all rolled over and one fell out. There were two in the bed and the little one said, okay, so that's how I used to teach the children because I actually did work in the school system for 18 years. Okay. So I promise I think I have a song for everything. So we're going to do the same with this bead, okay? And if I'm going too fast, just pause and rewind. And that is the perks. That is a perk of taking an online course. I like it because I like to watch and read things over and over. I have been known to read a book 4 times. First, to gain the knowledge. Second, to gain understanding. 3, to take action. 4, to use it as a checklist to see if I did it. And you're going to grab the wire and roll over, and we have a loop. Okay, so we'll set that to the side because that plays a part in our project towards the end. So now let's see how good we'll be at doing this. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your leather and you're going to feed it through the loop like this. Okay. And fold it over just a little bit. So that's where I am. Okay. Do the same with the other side. Now this is where you start to determine the length. And I'm gonna learn today, y'all. What Kevin Hart say? You gonna learn today. Stop lotioning my hands before I do videos. So we have this. Okay. Now what I'm going to do, because I'm going to adjust the length, and I just slide my bead down. I mean, not bead, my jump ring down a little bit. And this is about the size of the body that I want for mine because y'all, guess what? I have a kind of a short neck, so I don't wear a lot of long earrings. So now I have all of this left over. Okay. That reminds me of a little post-it note. Oh no. Remember that door stopper that used to be popular back in the 80s and 90s, and that thing would go brrr. Me and my sister used to play with that all the time. Okay, Angela, stay focused. Childhood memories. So I'm going to cut a little bit. So now we're here. Okay, you got it? So what we need to do is we're going to wrap in the middle. So take your other piece of wire that you've cut, and it doesn't matter how long, I don't measure, but nothing goes to waste. And we always have a tale of two cities. And hold that with your thumb and then just start wrapping. Now, see, I tried this with the 20 gauge wire. So here's my true confessions, or as Usher said, these are my confessions. And it didn't go as smoothly. So I'm going to keep wrapping because this is the back side. This is the front side. Yay, us. And yes, so I'm going to fold this over. I'm actually going to change the design a little bit. So anyway, now this little tail, you can fold to the front. No, that's not what I want to do, you guys. Sorry, I was just kidding. Just kidding. Just kidding. No, I wasn't. Okay. Don't listen to Angela. That's what she wants to do. So we're doing that because now we have both of our pieces secure with the wire. So now what I want to do with this one is I want to cut a little piece like that. Flip this over, and we've made a swirl before. Take your round nose and just start circling towards the middle, just like we did in one of those other projects. And see, look how funky that is. So now we have a swirl accent. And okay, so I know you noticed copper wire with silver components. I did that on purpose, you guys, because mixed metal is in. And I just really like to add copper because copper has great natural energy. If you don't believe me, just notice that they're coming out with all these copper pans and copper bottles that you can put your water in and stuff like that. So yeah, it's a thing. So now you can add your charms to the bottom of your earrings. Okay. Just like that. And then so we're here, and we have our dangles. Okay. Why isn't okay? Yeah, okay. So the camera has an attitude today. And every day. So now we're just gonna open the bottom of our earring ear wire. This is the front with the swirl, so I'm gonna face this to the back, attach it just like this, close that loop, and we have our earrings. So this was, where's my this was the original one that I did, so I don't have a pair that matches because I left the swirl out on this one. Oh, turn it around, Angela. I left the swirl out on this one, but I actually like it with the swirl better. I don't know. What do you think? Leave a comment. All right. So let's move on to the next chapter, and our video for chapter 5 is Not Your Average Plain Jane. See you soon.